So the next provider that we are going to be taking a look at is the stream provider. So the stream provider is usually used for to listening to Firebase and also rebooting another provider every few seconds. Okay, so let's say if we are retrieving data from an API source in the form of a stream and we want to expose into a UI with the stream provider, right? So let's just create another folder inside our lib code repository, and then let's create a file called stream repository provider dot. Then let's just say class stream repository. Okay, so what we are going to do is we are going to just create a stream of integers. Or this must be a capital letter S. When the duration. So what this function is going to do is just going to generate a stream of numbers every second from 1 up to 30. So that will be from 0 up to 29, right? So what we need to do then is we are going to access this in our user interface. What we are going to do is we are just going to say stream repository provider is equal to provider of type stream repository reference, and then just going to return stream repository. Okay, so let's just put a semicolon and then let's just import Flutter riverpod. So if you remember from the first part when you talked about basic provider, we said that the basic provider, we use basic providers to expose repository or service classes so that they can be read by other providers. As you can see, now we are using this basic provider to expose this stream repository that we are going to retrieve in our stream provider class, right? So in our stream provider widget, what we are just going to do is going to say final stream value provider is equals to stream provider. Let's import this from riverpod. Stream provider. Then we're going to check in a reference as a parameter. Then what's going to do is first, to access our repository class, what we have to do is we have to say that we have to first read this, we have to read this stream repository provider. Final, let's just say stream repository. Stream repository. This goes to reference dot watch. Stream repository. Stream repository provider. Like this. Let's import it. So let's just import it, and then what we are going to do is we are just going to return this stream repository dot, and then we are just going to get the stream. Okay, so that's how we do it. So now let's go into our user interface. Let's just give it an up bar. Remember, I say that if we want to consume providers inside our user interface, we have to use what we call the consumer widget. And then we also need the widget reference parameter. And then here we need to read final stream. This goes to reference dot watch. Reference dot watch. We want to watch the changes in the stream value provider. So if there are any changes in the state in the stream value provider. And then we need a body. So inside this body, what we are just going to do is we're just going stream dot. This when we're just going to say when if there is any data from our provider, and then if there is an error, we just say error. It will take in two parameters, the error and the stack trace. Okay, and then we'll just return a text that we need to center that text. Let's wrap it with okay, we'll just show a text with error, a text with error to string. And then if somehow our data is still loading, that's what I like about riverpod. So it gives you options. Let's say if our data is still loading, we'll just show a circular progress bar, a circular progress indicator. Okay, forgot to add. Okay, let's give it a constant. Okay, so now what we are just going to do here, we are going to return a center widget. Center widget. The child is going to be a text. Then in the text we're just going to display the data. Go to string. Let's convert to string. Okay. So this data is the streams that are generated in our stream repository here. Then let's also give it a style. Let's style it. Text, style, colors, to black. I'll give it a font size 25, like this. Okay. So that's it for the stream provider. Let's just restart our debugger. Then let's see. Let's go into stream provider. As you can see, streams are being generated. Then let's wait for it to finish. As you can see, we've generated streams from 0 up to 30. So if I go back also, then if I come back, you'll see that we still have 29. But what if we use the auto dispose method? Okay, let's restart our debugger. Then let's go to the stream provider. So the other thing is we need to make sure that the circular progress indicator is centered. Let's repeat with the center widget, and also the text. The error text. Let's also repeat with the center widget. Center widget. Let's perform auto reload. Okay, let's go back. Then let's go back to the stream provider widget again. As you can see, it restarts. As you can see, it was loading also. As you can see, this time when we went back, you saw that the stream provider state had been reset to 0 because we use auto dispose. Remember, I said that the auto dispose method, we use it when we want to dispose the state that we are no longer listening to it. For example, if we go back to another page and then come back, that state will be reset. It will be disposed as we will no longer, as that widget, that page will no longer be listening to that state. Okay, so the next provider that we are going to be looking at is the future provider, which is also used when retrieving data from API calls.